Something really funny happened today. India got the new ball and it didn't swing. That's not the funny bit. And then after 20 overs, India got the ball replaced. The umpires picked out a ball that almost instantly started reversing, as Zach Crawley found out.
This is the last knot. My dad told me to say this.
And this is funny because to get a ball to reverse, you have to work on the ball for ages. I'm commentating with Stuart Meeker at the moment, and he reckons that as a general rule, if you get it to go around the 65 over mark, you're doing pretty well. And that's without any Australian hardware supplies, of course. But India got given a magic ball from the Pulp Fiction suitcase, and all hell broke loose for a couple of overs. And of course, it was a matter of time before one of those replacement balls actually did something, because we have had so very many of them. Maybe this one was left over from a few years ago when they had actually stayed hard, or perhaps the team who had been using that particular ball had been working on it to get it start reversing at that stage, and then they didn't need it and it stayed there all ready to go. But the fact that we've had so many replacement balls is obviously a huge problem in England this summer. Once the ball goes old, you just kind of hand 100 to whichever middle order player is currently out there. I mean, you might as well simulate some of these innings from overs 30 to 80. Daryl Mitchell, Tom Blundell, Rishabh Pant, Johnny Bairstow, Joe Root, Marizan Kapp and Nat Siver have all made hundreds against the old ball this summer. These balls cross gender lines. I mean, we're talking about the old ball average almost doubling, and maybe the pitches are playing a part, but the ball usually swings for a long time in England, and the ball's doing almost nothing after the 30 over mark. And we are now very close to the ICC having to do something about replacement balls in tests. And by that I mean they probably should have looked into this about 2 years ago. What is happening to Dukes is a monumental embarrassment to the game. After 30 overs, this once proud cricket item turns into a Nerf ball. For Dukes, this is something caused by COVID-related problems, and I'm sure that they're really looking forward to getting back to their old methods and hopefully fixing these problems. But the ICC is the real issue here. The most important part of our game is controlled by a small bunch of companies who barely make any money at all. To cricket fans, Kookaburra, Dukes and SG are big names, but they're not really big brands. Someone at Kookaburra once told me they make more money from their hockey gear. Compare this to football, where World Cup balls are made by Adidas. Slazenger make the Wimbledon balls, and again are a larger company than any of the ball manufacturers in cricket. And Wilson now makes the NBA ball, again a very big company. So one thing that cricket could do is have a big company involved, even if it was to buy out the ball departments of the existing makers. Another is subsidizing a manufacturer, or just, doing a partnership with a manufacturer where the ICC and cricket controls the product, a bit like what the MLB does. Baseballs are made by Rawlings directly for the MLB. This is probably the best idea for cricket, but it is worth noting that in baseball, it's not always gone particularly well. In fact, there's always conspiracies about whether the ball might change based on its weight or its aerodynamics to get more, and weirdly sometimes less, home runs hit. And Rawlings also had trouble with baseballs during COVID. And around that time, the MLB got kind of caught lying about it. And years ago, a Japanese baseball official was actually caught sending out juiced up balls to ensure that there would be more home runs. And I tell you this because that's probably what would happen in cricket, right? But let's look at what is already occurring now. A small company that usually makes a quality product got hit by a global crisis, and because of that, we have had a replacement ball being used for a single delivery in this test match. Literally, they got a new replacement ball out, it was whacked, and then they got another one. At this stage, the ICC might as well get a sponsor for the spear cuffs we put the balls through and the suitcase you bring them out in. Both of those things are being used far more than the actual balls themselves. I really believe that pitches and balls should be regulated by the governing body of the sport. And part of that reason is to make sure that we never have shit Nerf balls. And while this series is bad, it's not just about what's happening at the moment. Since reverse swings started happening less and the wobble ball took over, bowling teams are completely taking the piss by basically giving the ball to the umpire almost every time it doesn't move sideways or there's two boundaries hit. And you didn't used to do that with a ball you were trying to get to reverse swing because you had to put so much work into it. But bowlers just want a hard seam now, and so they will throw the ball back to the umpire over and over and over again until they get a ball that they like. What should be happening really is that the ICC starts to govern cricket. We have data from Hawkeye. Kookaburra have even started to put microchips in the balls. We have so much more information now, and yet we still have very poor cricket balls. I mean, the white ball is shit. The pink ball is also shit, and the red balls are now getting a bit shaky as well. In a perfect world, the ICC would fix this. But we live in cricket, so instead, we just have to handle our softballs gently and hope that they firm up again. This entire video feels like an unintentional Manscaped ad.
Googlies, quarter seamer, carom, dukes, back of the hand, red, leg cutters, teesra, pink, knuckle, white, slider, seed, heavy, bounces, cherry, length, pill, off cutters, old, crimson traveller, kookaburra, hard, outswing, second new, off spin, arm, SG, split finger, shiny, leg spin, soft, new, yorkers, flippers, wrong-uns, long hops, reverse swing, half volley, and third new. These are just some of the names we use for balls in cricket. Well, Manscaped wants you to be as proud of your balls as you are of the ones delivered by your favourite cricketer. Manscaped just launched their 4th generation trimmer, the Lawnmower 4.0. Join over 2 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped with this exclusive offer, 20% off and free worldwide shipping. Insert the code REDINKA at manscaped.com. I've actually used this, not just something that I'm hawking for fun, and I got to admit, I thought it was a bit silly, and then I went down there and it was exceptional. I honestly feel I could bowl outswing with one nut and inswing with the other. So get 20% off and free worldwide shipping with the code REDINKA at manscaped.com. Manscaped, for the man who cares about his balls as much as the ones out in the middle.